grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, in the prescribed quantities. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, and their drink offerings. On the third day, 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish, with the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs in the prescribed quantities. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the fourth day, 10 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish, with the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, in the prescribed quantities. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the fifth day, 9 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish, with the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs in the prescribed quantities. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the sixth day, 8 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish, with the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, in the prescribed quantities. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offerings. On the seventh day, 7 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish, with the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, in the prescribed quantities. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 8th day you shall have a solemn assembly. You shall not do any ordinary work, but you shall offer a burnt offering, a food offering, with a pleasing aroma to the Lord. 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old without blemish, and the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bull, for the ram, and for the lambs, in the prescribed quantities. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, and its drink offering. These you shall offer to the Lord at your appointed feasts, in addition to your vow offerings and your free will offerings, for your burnt offerings, and for your grain offerings, and for your drink offerings, and for your peace offerings. So Moses told the people of Israel everything just as the Lord had commanded Moses.
Reach up with that left hand, eyes on that thumb. A little bit of bonus, reach off, one direction.
Chapter 30.
And other side.
Moses spoke to the heads of the tribes of the people of Israel, saying, This is what the Lord has commanded. If a man vows a vow to the Lord or swears an oath to bind himself by a pledge, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. If a woman vows a vow to the Lord and binds herself by a pledge, while within her father's house in her youth, and her father hears of her vow and her pledge by which she has bound herself, and says nothing to her, then all her vows shall stand, and every pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand. But if her father opposes her on the day that he hears of it, no vow of hers, no pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand,
Fold the arms, relax the head.
and the Lord will forgive her because her father opposed her. If she marries a husband while under her vows or any thoughtless utterance of her lips by which she has bound herself, and her husband hears of it, and says nothing to her on the day that he hears, then her vows shall stand, and her pledges by which she has bound herself shall stand. But if on the day that her husband comes to hear of it, he opposes her, then he makes void her vow that was on her, and the thoughtless utterance of her lips by which she bound herself, and the Lord will forgive her. But any vow of a widow or of a divorced woman, anything by which she has bound herself, shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house or bound herself by a pledge with an oath, and her husband heard of it and said nothing to her and did not oppose her, then all her vows shall stand, and every pledge by which she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband makes them null and void on the day that he hears them, then whatever proceeds out of her lips concerning her vows or concerning her pledge of herself shall not stand. Her husband has made them void, and the Lord will forgive her. Any vow and any binding oath to afflict herself, her husband may establish, or her husband may make void.
More intention and
But if her
more
husband says nothing to her from day
You
to
can't
day,
straighten your right leg.
then he establishes all her vows or all her pledges that are upon her. He has established them because he said nothing to her on the day that he heard of them. But if he makes them null and void after he has heard of them, then he shall bear her iniquity.
Number 2, do this 3 times. Last time
These
on
are the
right side.
statutes
Here we
that the
go.
Lord commanded Moses about a man and his wife, and about a father and his daughter while she is in
Exhale
her
over
youth
to the
within
left.
her father's house.
Turn to the left. Same thing here, 3 times on the side. Toes
Chapter
up.
31.
Very flexible.
The Lord spoke to Moses, saying,
And down.
Avenge the people of Israel on the Midianites. Afterward you shall be gathered to your people. So Moses spoke to the people, saying, Arm men from among you for the war, that they may go against Midian to execute the Lord's vengeance on Midian.
Place the left hand on the
You shall
floor.
send 1,000 from each of the tribes of Israel to the war.
Keep your eyes
So
on
there were
top.
provided out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 from each tribe, together with Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest, with the vessels of the sanctuary and the trumpets for the alarm in his hand. They warred against Midian as the Lord commanded Moses, and killed every male.
You guys
They
feel that?
killed the kings of Midian with the rest of their slain,
All right,
Evi,
both hands
Brecum,
down the floor.
Zur, Hur, and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian.
Yes, sir.
And they also killed Balaam the son of Beor with the sword. And the people of Israel took captive the women of Midian and their little ones, and they took as plunder all their cattle, their flocks, and all their goods,
You guys ready to go?
all their cities and the places where they lived, and all their encampments they burned with fire, and took all the spoil and all the plunder, both of man and of beast. Then they brought the captives and the plunder and the spoil to Moses, and to Eleazar the priest, and to the congregation of the people of Israel, at the camp on the plains of Moab, by the Jordan at Jericho.
Up, great. Down, you got it.
Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the chiefs of the congregation went to meet them outside the camp. And Moses was angry with the officers of the army, the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds, who had come from service in the war. Moses said to them, Have you let all the women live? Behold, these, on Balaam's advice, caused the people of Israel to act treacherously against the Lord in the incident of Peor. And so the plague came among the congregation of the Lord. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known man by lying with him.
Look at that.
But all the young girls who have not known man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Encamp outside the camp 7 days.
Nice.
Whoever of you has killed any person, and whoever has touched any slain, purify yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day and on the 7th day.
There you go. Good.
You shall purify every garment, every article of skin, all work of goat's hair, and every article of wood. Then Eleazar the priest said to the men in the army who had gone to battle, This is a statute of the law that the Lord has commanded Moses. Only the gold, the silver, the bronze, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that can stand the fire, you shall pass through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall also be purified with the water for impurity. And whatever cannot stand the fire, you shall pass through the water. You must wash your clothes on the 7th day, and you shall be clean. And afterward you may come into the camp. The Lord said to Moses, Take the cart of the plunder that was taken, both of man and of beast, you and Eleazar the priest and the heads of the fathers' houses of the congregation, and divide the plunder into 2 parts, between the warriors who went out to battle and all the congregation. And levy for the Lord a tribute from the men of war who went out to battle, 1 out of 500 of the people and of the oxen and of the donkeys and of the flocks. Take it from their half, and give it to Eleazar the priest as a contribution to the Lord. And from the people of Israel's half, you shall take one drawn out of every 50 of the people, of the oxen, of the donkeys, and of the flocks, of all the cattle, and give them to the Levites who keep guard over the tabernacle of the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses.
Finish it up.
Now the plunder remaining of the spoil that the army took was 675,000 sheep, 72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 persons in all, women who had not known man by lying with him.
Look in the tricep.
And the half, the portion of those who had gone out in the army,
Left hand's on the
numbered
hip, you can start with the right hand.
337,500 sheep,
Drop it
and the
down.
Lord's tribute of sheep
Raise it
was
up.
675.
Down.
The cattle were 36,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 72. The donkeys were 30,500, of which the Lord's tribute was 61. The persons were 16,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 32 persons. And Moses gave the tribute, which was the contribution for the Lord, to Eleazar the priest, as the Lord commanded Moses.
Sean, you're looking good, man. You
From
feel
the
that,
people of
guys?
Israel's half, which Moses separated from that of the men who had served in the army.
15 reps here.
Now the congregation's half was 337,500 sheep, 36,000 cattle, and 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 persons. From the people of Israel's half, Moses took one of every 50, both of persons and of beasts, and gave them to the Levites who kept guard over the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses.
Right hand's on the hip.
Then the officers who were over the thousands of the army, the commanders of thousands, and the commanders of hundreds, came near to Moses and said to Moses, "Your servants have counted the men of war who are under our command, and there is not a man missing from us. And we have brought the Lord's offering, what each man found, articles of gold, armlets and bracelets, signet rings, earrings, and beads, to make atonement for ourselves before the Lord."
Knees are bent, back is straight. You guys
And
are
Moses and Eleazar the priest received from them the gold, all crafted articles,
Sean, nice, man.
and all the gold of the contribution that they presented to the Lord from the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds was 16,750 shekels. The men in the army had each taken plunder for
Last
himself.
one.
And Moses and Eleazar the priest received the gold from the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it into the tent of meeting
Two in this
as a
direction.
memorial for the people of Israel before the
Nice and
Lord.
tall. Guys ready to go? Here we go. Right leg first. These are the angles.
Chapter
Step.
32.
Left leg. Just like
Now the people of Reuben and the people of Gad had a very great number of livestock. And they saw the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead,
back legs are
and
nice and
behold, the
straight, you
place
guys.
was a place for
Boom, make sure that
livestock.
knee's over the ankle.
So the people of Gad and the people of Reuben came and said to Moses and to Eleazar the priest
Back leg
and to the
straight.
chiefs of the
See the
congregation,
form. Good.
Ataroth,
Knee up a little
Dibon,
bit, Sean. Nice.
Jazer,
There you go.
Nimrah,
For me.
Heshbon,
Let's see going back.
Elealah, Sebum, Nebo, and
Back leg, see how
Beon.
straight that leg
The
is?
land that the Lord struck down before the congregation of Israel is a land for livestock, and your servants have livestock.
Straight
And they
that
said,
back leg for me, Sean. I know you can
"If
do
we
it.
have found favor in your
Big strong
sight,
guy like you, come
let this land be given to your servants for a possession. Do not take us across the Jordan."
Lisa,
But
good.
Moses said to the
Good.
people of
Balance is
Gad and to
good.
the people of Reuben, "Shall your brothers go to the war while you sit here?
Here we go.
Why will you discourage the heart of the people of Israel from going over into the land that the Lord has given them?
All right. So grab an
Your
ankle.
fathers did this when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the
Feel
land,
that. Stand tall.
or when they went up to the valley of Eshcol and saw the land. They discouraged the heart of the people of Israel from going into the land that the Lord had given them.
We don't have superior balance.
And the Lord's anger was kindled on that day, and he swore, saying, "Surely none of the men who came up out of Egypt, from 20 years old and upward, shall see the land that I swore to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me. None except Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, and Joshua the son of Nun, for they have wholly followed the Lord." And the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of the Lord was gone. And behold, you have risen in your father's place, a brood of sinful men, to increase still more the fierce anger of the Lord against Israel. For if you turn away from following him, he will again abandon them in the wilderness, and you will destroy all this people. Then they came near to him and said, "We will build sheepfolds here for our livestock, and cities for our little ones. But we will take up arms ready to go before the people of Israel until we have brought them to their place. And our little ones shall live in the fortified cities because of the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our homes until each of the people of Israel has gained his inheritance.
Let's see, guys.
For we will not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because our inheritance has come to us on this side of the Jordan to the east."
Down and make sure to breathe.
So Moses said to
And
them,
down. Hold.
"If you will do this, if you will take up arms to go before the Lord for the war, and every armed man of you will pass over the Jordan before the Lord, until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land is subdued before the Lord.
So we're gonna
Then after that you shall return and be free of obligation to the Lord and to Israel.
nice.
And this land shall be your possession before the Lord."
Left.
But if you will not do so, behold, you have sinned against the Lord, and be sure your sin will find you out.
Going to
Build
back
cities for your little ones and
Like
folds
heavy
for your
pants,
sheep,
same position.
and do what you have promised.
Pull back,
And the people of Gad and the people of Reuben said to Moses,
just like
your servants will do as my Lord commands. Our little ones, our wives, our livestock, and all our cattle shall remain there in the cities of Gilead. But your servants will pass over, every man who is armed for war, before the Lord to battle, as my Lord orders.
reach down low, reach down there nice and
So Moses gave command concerning them to Eleazar the priest, and to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers' houses of the tribes of the people of Israel.
Rhomboids,
And Moses said to them,
top of the neck.
if the people of Gad and the people of Reuben, every man who is armed to battle before the Lord, will pass with you over the Jordan, and the land shall be subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilead for possession. However, if they will not pass over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan.
Knees are bent still.
And the people of Gad and the people of Reuben answered, what the Lord has said to your servants we will do. We will pass over armed before the Lord into the land of Canaan, and the possession of our inheritance shall remain with us beyond the Jordan. And Moses gave to them, to the people of Gad and to the people of Reuben, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the land and its cities with their territories, the cities of the land throughout the country.
Looking good.
And the people of Gad built Dibon, Ataroth, Aurora, Patroth Shophan, Jazer, Jogbaha, Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran, fortified cities and folds for sheep. And the people of Reuben built Heshbon, Elealeh, Kiriathaim, Nebo, and Baal Meon. Their names were changed, and Sibmah.
One foot in front of the other.
And they gave other names to the cities that they
Open up
built.
those hands off to the side.
And the sons of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead and captured it, and dispossessed the Amorites who were in it.
Bend over.
And Moses gave Gilead to Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he settled it.
All the way close.
And Jair, the son of Manasseh, went and captured their villages, and called them Havoth
Straight
Jair.
on. Perfect.
And Noba went and captured Kenath and its villages, and called it Noba,
Literally tons of
after his own
biceps.
name.
Great, great exercise. Nice breathing, you guys. Looking good. Remember, 8 to 15 reps. Everything you can do.
Chapter 33.
Okay. We got 5 left.
These are the stages of the people of Israel when they went out of the land of Egypt by their companies under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. Moses wrote down their starting places, stage by stage, by command of the Lord. And these are their stages according to their starting places.
Profile, so see what it looks like.
They set out from Ramesses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month. On the day after the Passover, the people of Israel went out triumphantly in the sight of all the Egyptians,
Pause it for a second.
while the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn, whom the Lord had struck down among them.
Let's see.
On their gods also the Lord executed judgments.
Good, good, good. Back
So the
straight.
people of Israel set out from Ramesses and camped at
All the
Succoth.
way to the shoulders and
And they set out from Succoth and camped at Etham, which is on the edge of the wilderness.
Right there, bam.
And they set out from Etham and turned back to Pi-hahiroth, which is east of Baal-zephon.
This exercise is tough.
And they
so
camped
like
before Migdol.
builds the
And they set
shoulders
out
and
from
the
before
triceps.
Hahiroth and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness.
Jump back
And they went a 3 days journey in the wilderness of Etham and camped at Marah.
2 left.
And they set out from Marah and came to Elim. At Elim there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, and they camped there. And they set out from Elim and camped by the Red Sea. And they set out from the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin.
You do 3.
And they set out from the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophkah. And they set out from Dophkah and camped at Elish. And they set out from Elish and camped at Rephidim,
Nice and tall.
where there was no water for the people to drink.
On your heels. Let's go that
And they
way.
set out from Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai.
And turn.
And they set out from the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattaavah.
And 3. Here
And
we
they set out from Kibroth Hattaavah and camped at Hazeroth.
go. No reason to rush.
And they set out from Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah.
Check the form. Let's see.
And they set out from Rithmah and camped at Rimmon Perez.
And turn.
And they set out from Rimmon Perez and camped at
Leg back,
Libnah.
leg straight as you can make it, Sean.
And they set out from
Field
Libnah
squats.
and camped at Rissah. And they set out from Rissah and camped at Keelatha.
Nice and tall. One
And they set out from Keelatha and camped at Mount Shefer.
Let's see.
And
Come
they
on
set
back.
out from Mount Shefer and camped at Harada.
All right.
And they
last
set
one,
out from
last one.
Harada
Come on,
and
bring it
camped at
on.
Makeloth.
Big lunge, put knee over the ankle.
And they
legs
set
gotta
out
be
from
straight,
Makeloth
really important.
and
3
camped at
squats.
Teath. And they set out
See how
from
they stand
Teath
nice
and
and
camped
tall,
at Tirah.
good time. Hands are up
And
for
they set out
balance.
from Tirah and camped at Mithkah.
Good, you guys.
And they set out from
Excellent.
Mithkah
As
and
we head
camped at
around two, we're
Hashmona.
gonna take a little water
And
towel
they set
break.
out from Hashmona
So grab
and
some
camped at
water.
Mosira.
Now remember, you guys, there's no reason
And
you
they
wouldn't
set
do
out
this.
from
Start
Mosira
now, just
and
go
camped
1,
at Bene
2.
Jaakon.
Take your time.
And
Check
they set
your
out
weights.
from
You're
Bene
not lifting
Jaakon
too
and
hard.
camped
Your
at
form's
Horeg
really good.
Gidgad.
And use that pause button.
And they set out from Horeg Gidgad and camped at Jotbatha. And they set out from
All right,
Jotbatha
guys. Here we
and
go.
camped at Abrona.
We're going to our
And they set out
stretch.
from Abrona
We're gonna
and
go quads
camped at
first.
Ezion Geber.
Grab the right ankle.
And they set out from Ezion Geber and camped in the wilderness of Zin, that is, Kadesh.
Tall.
And they set out from Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor on the edge of the land of Edom. And Aaron the priest went up Mount Hor at the command of the Lord and died there in the 40th year after the people of Israel had come out of the land of Egypt on the first day of the 5th month. And Aaron was 123 years old when he died on Mount Hor.
Tall. Big chest stretch. Here we go.
And the Canaanite, the king of Arad, who lived in the Negev in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the people of Israel. And they set out from Mount Hor and camped at Zalmonah.
Back a little
And they
bit.
set out from
Okay, round
Zalmonah
three,
and camped at Punah.
777. Right on the floor.
And they set out from
Seven
Punon
wide,
and camped at
seven
Oboth.
close, and seven stand.
And they set out from
Same
Oboth
kind of
and camped at Aya Aber,
Down.
territory of Moab. And they set out from Ayim and camped at Dibon Gad.
Hold.
And they set out from Dibon Gad and camped at Elmon Diblathaim.
Sean, you can get wider than that.
And they
Come
set
on.
out from Elmon Diblathaim and camped in the mountains of Abarim before Nebo.
Same.
And they set out from the mountains of Abarim and camped in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho.
We're gonna switch
They
over to
camped by the Jordan from Beth Jeshimoth as far as Abel Shittim, the plains of Moab.
Just like that. Up.
And the Lord spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho, saying,
See how close my hands are?
Speak to the people of Israel and say to them, when you pass over the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their figured stones, and destroy all their metal images, and demolish all their high places. And you shall take possession of the land and settle in it, for I have given the land to you to possess it. You shall inherit the land by lot according to your clans. To a large tribe you shall give a large inheritance, and to a small tribe you shall give a small inheritance. Wherever the lot falls for anyone, that shall be his. According to the tribes of your fathers you shall inherit. But if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then those of them whom you let remain shall be as barbs in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and they shall trouble you in the land where you dwell. And I will do to you as I thought to
Grab
do
the
to
hand
them.
with your right hand and pull across your body. Right leg straight, knees over the ankle.
Chapter
Big back
34.
movement. And
The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command the people of Israel and say to them, when you enter the land of Canaan, this is the land that shall fall to you for an inheritance, the land of Canaan as defined by its borders. Your south side shall be from the wilderness of Zin alongside Edom, and your southern border shall run from the end of the Salt Sea on the east.
knees over her ankle.
And your border shall turn south at the ascent of Akrabim and cross to Zin, and its limit shall be south of Kadesh
A lot of
Barnea.
tension at the top of that
Then it
motion.
shall go on to Hazar
Yeah,
Adar,
we're not gonna have the same
and
range
pass
of
along
motion
to
as
Asmon.
Two more, they're gonna
And the
switch
border
sides.
shall turn from Asmon to the
Right
brook
back.
of Egypt,
That's it. Let's go
and
to
its
the side.
limit shall be at the sea.
Remember at home, 8 to 15 reps
For
here,
the
too.
western border you
Right
shall have the
away,
great
to the
sea
left
and
hand.
its coast. This shall be your western border. This shall be your northern border. From the great sea you shall draw a line to
Let's see,
Mount Hor.
that's excellent.
From Mount Hor you shall draw a line to Lebo Hamath.
The big twist.
And the
See
limit of
twist?
the border shall be at
Extends
Zedad.
a lot more movement in the chest.
Then the border
So
shall
that's a
extend
lot
to
more.
Ziphren, and its limit shall be at Hazar Enan. This shall be your
One thing about the
northern border.
resistance bands, you'll notice not as much tension
You
at the
shall
bottom
draw a
as the
line
top.
for your eastern border from Hazar Enan to Shephem.
Good, you guys. We got 4
The
more.
border shall go down from Shephem to Riblah on the east side of Ain.
Here you go.
And the border shall go down and reach to the shoulder of the sea of Kinnereth on the east. And the border shall go down to the Jordan, and its limit shall be at the Salt Sea.
Flies. You might want to let
This
it
shall
wait
be
a
your
little
land as defined by its borders all around.
bit. 8 to 15 reps.
Moses commanded the people of Israel, saying, This is the land that you shall inherit by lot, which the Lord has commanded to give to the 9 tribes and to the half-tribe.
See that little hole at
For the
top?
tribe of the people of Reuben by fathers' houses, and the tribe of the people of Gad by their fathers' houses, have received their inheritance,
Great exercise
and also
for
the
shaping
half-tribe of
the
Manasseh.
deltoids. Try
The
to
2
get out of
tribes
this
of the
way.
half-tribe have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan east of Jericho toward the
Same thing with
sunrise.
Sean, the resistance bands.
The Lord
Great
spoke to
for
Moses,
you really
saying,
feel it here, don't you?
These are the names of the men who shall divide the land to you for inheritance.
Back, leg forward.
Eleazar the
Breathing.
priest and
See how
Joshua
wide
the
she
son
is?
of Nun.
It's really important. That width is
You
really
shall
nice.
take one
You might have to
chief
lighten your
from
waist.
every tribe to divide the land for inheritance.
3 left.
These are the names of the men. Of the tribe of Judah, Caleb the son of Jephunneh.
Last one.
Of the tribe of the people of Simeon,
21.
Shemuel the
Bicep
son of
exercise.
Ammihud.
7 low.
Of
7
the tribe
high,
of
7
Benjamin,
all the way.
Elidah the son of
Knees
Kislon.
bent, back is straight.
Of the tribe of the people of Dan, a chief,
It's a half movement.
Bukai
Only
the
to
son of Joglai.
down.
Of the
Only
people of
straight
Joseph,
arms to the
of the
body.
tribe of the people of Manasseh, a chief,
How far you
Amiel
come out?
the son of
Right
Ephraim.
to there.
And of the tribe of the people of Ephraim, a chief,
Everything's the same with the lower
Kemuel
half.
the son of
Notice,
Shiftan.
knees are always bent.
Of the
Back
tribe
really
of the
straight,
people of
chest is
Zebulun,
always up,
a chief,
eyes are forward.
Elizaphan
Great arm
the
blast,
son of
really
Parnam.
shapes. 7 low, now we're gonna go 7 high.
Of the
Ready?
tribe of
7
the
high.
people of Issachar, a chief, Paltiel the son of Azan. And of the tribe of the people of Asher, a chief,
Make sure your knees are bent.
Ahihud the son of
Make sure your back
Shilomi.
is straight.
Of the tribe of the people of Naphtali, a chief, Pedahel the son of Ammihud. These are the men whom the Lord commanded to divide the inheritance for the people of Israel in the land of
All the
Canaan.
way up and down. All the way up and down. Good, Reese. Looking good. Down.
Chapter
Real nice.
35.
Chest up. You see how they're not
The
moving
Lord
around,
spoke to
they're not turning
Moses in
around?
the plains of Moab by the Jordan
Grab
at
some
Jericho,
chairs,
saying,
few beats. We got 2 left.
Command the people of Israel to give to the Levites some of the
Last one.
inheritance of their possession as cities for them to dwell in.
We're going to dips. We're going to try
And you shall give to the Levites pasture lands around the
Nice,
cities.
strong, sturdy chair.
The cities shall be theirs to dwell in, and their pasture lands shall be for their cattle and for their livestock, and for all their beasts. The pasture lands of the cities, which you shall give to the Levites, shall reach from the wall of the city outward 1,000 cubits all around. And you shall measure outside the city on the east side 2,000 cubits, and on the south side 2,000 cubits, and on the west side 2,000 cubits,
See their face?
and on the north
Not
side
rushing, not
2,000
overdoing it.
cubits, the city
Going
being in the middle.
with the upper arm, let's see that lead
This
back.
shall belong to them as pasture land for their cities. The cities that you give to the Levites shall be the 6 cities of refuge, where you shall permit the manslayer to flee.
All right.
And in addition to them, you shall give 42 cities.
3-part squats.
All the cities that you give to the Levites shall be 48 with their pasture lands.
Okay.
And as for the cities that you shall give from the possession of the people of Israel, from the larger tribes you shall take many, and from the smaller tribes you shall take few. Each in proportion to the inheritance that it inherits shall give of its cities to the Levites. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel, and say to them, When you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall select cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the manslayer who kills any person without intent may flee there. The cities shall be for you a refuge from the avenger, that the manslayer may not die until he stands before the congregation for judgment. And the cities that you give shall be your 6 cities of refuge.
Chest is up. Eyes
You shall give
forward.
3 cities beyond the Jordan, and 3 cities in the land of Canaan to be cities of refuge.
That looks really good.
These 6 cities shall be for refuge for the people of Israel, and for the stranger, and for the sojourner among them, that anyone who kills any person without intent may flee there.
Good. Hands are here. We gotta
But
push
if he
out.
struck him down with an iron object so that he died, he is a murderer.
Push the knees
The
down.
murderer shall be put to death. And if he struck him down with a stone tool that could cause death, and he died,
Drive that
he is a
pelvis
murderer.
forward. Turn
The
those knees
murderer
out.
shall be put
Heads
to
up.
death.
Nice little pause at the bottom.
Or if he struck him down with a wooden tool that could cause death, and he died,
Just
he
like
is a
that.
murderer.
Perform it, guys. Nice
The
and
murderer shall be put to death.
Last one. All right,
The
let's
avenger
go.
of blood shall himself put the murderer to death.
Stand tall.
When he meets him, he shall put him to death. And if he pushed him out of hatred, or hurled something at him, lying in wait so that he died, or in enmity struck him down with his hand so that he died, then he who struck the blow shall be put to death.
Hamstring and calf.
He is a murderer. The avenger of blood shall put the murderer to death when he meets him.
Forward, guys.
But if he pushed him suddenly without enmity, or hurled anything on him without lying in wait, or used a stone that could cause death, and without seeing him dropped it on him so that he died, though he was not his enemy and did not seek his harm, then the congregation shall judge between the manslayer and the avenger of blood in accordance with these rules.
Front, last stretch.
And the congregation shall rescue the manslayer from the hand of the avenger of blood, and the congregation shall restore him to a city of refuge.